And there you have it. The markets are officially closed on this Wednesday, August 21st. Welcome, investors and traders. I'm AJ Monte, and this is a daily candle chart of the Dow Jones Industrial Average ETF, ticker symbol DIA. As I zoom in here, you can see that we have this very small body candle that most closely resembles a hanging man. A hanging man candle is bearish 80% of the time. Couple that with the gap below the market and the drop in volume on the way up. That drop in volume signals that the buyers are losing some of that momentum. In addition to that, you can see that we have a hinge forming on the stochastic, and we are a hair away from a sell signal on the CCI. My downside target is $400.52. I'm keeping that in place. Nothing is moving as eyes are going to be focused on Jackson Hole as Fed Chair Powell is going to address the nation and what could be a decision to lower rates in September. The markets are a little confused right now after the minutes of the Fed meeting came out. And so it looks like they're favoring a rate cut, but you have to keep in mind that that could very well bring back inflation and open the door to much higher prices down the road. So we'll have to see what happens there. In the meantime, without speculating what the Fed is going to say, I could tell you that the signals on the charts are looking more bearish than bullish. If you didn't catch it already, I just want to make a quick announcement that ZeroHedge has picked up my chart of the week. I'll put a link to this in the description box below, as this chart is still very relevant. I have a downside target on SPX set right there. And so I'm going to be putting that out through ZeroHedge each and every week. It'll either come out on Sunday evening through ZeroHedge or Monday during the course of the day. If you do happen to get to this article, please be sure to leave a comment down there. We would love to hear from you, as this is our debut to ZeroHedge. They have 100 million views each month, so we're picking up a lot of eyes on the charts. And the more people who look at the charts, the more accurate the signals become. So that is DIA. Let's go right to IWM. Taking a look at the technicals, we got a hanging man there as well. Slightly lower volume. We've got overbought condition in the stochastic and overbought condition in the CCI, although the CCI is not hinged or pivoted lower, at least not yet. Gap below the market brings me to the lower price target of 206.47 after this most recent gap has filled. If you follow my gap fill rules, you'll know that 80% of the time gaps fill, and then after the gaps fill, 80% of the time prices reverse and move the other way. So I do expect that to happen with IWM. If we look at QQQ, you're going to see pretty much the same thing. Drop in volume on the way up. That's a spinning top, not a hanging man. And the hinge is already forming on the stochastic. The CCI is starting to pivot lower. Again, we're a hair away from that blue line, which is the CCI crossing below the red line. Once the red line is crossed, the sell signal is generated, and that will put more sell pressure into the market from those who actually trade against the technicals. Downside target on QQQ is 461.69. Not moving that. We'll have to see what happens on Friday, whether or not we hit that or I maintain that downside target on the weekly market report. Looking at SPY, it's going to be the same story. Downside target still in place at 453.88. We got a full-fledged hanging man right there after a gap fill here. We have the hinge in the stochastic and a pivot forming on the CCI. Again, the last time we saw a cross sell signal on the CCI was back here on this red candle. And look what happened after that. We had a massive sell-off right into the news of the yen carry trade, putting pressure on the markets down there. So whether or not we'll see another sell-off like that, we'll have to see. In the meantime, my downside target is 543.88. Looking at the VIX, very interesting. We have a full-fledged pivot point on the VIX. My upside target is still in place at 23.89. We do have a buy signal cross on the stochastic, and we do have a full-fledged pivot on the CCI. Stay tuned this Friday. I'm going to be talking more about the jobs report and the revision that was made. That was quite dramatic. It was the second biggest revision in the history of the U.S. markets, and it seems like investors weren't even fazed by that very dramatic revision. We'll talk more about that on Friday. And again, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. We love your comments. It helps drive the algorithm so that more eyes get on our videos, more eyes get on the charts. And if we have more people looking at the charts, like I said before, the signals become much more relevant and accurate. So you have a good rest of the week, and we'll talk to you later. So long.